Class is over, as soon as I disconnect the Zoom, like this.
Yeah, so no big deal
Okay,
with all that, but
you were muted, okay, I'll mute. I'll see you.
so we can see it.
So good to see you.
Yes. Talk to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get your voice out to go swimming.
Yes, we love that. That'd be really fun.
Okay.
And they're definitely water, they love the water. They love the hose.
Well, our pool is not like, it's in ground, but it's like super huge, so it's really good for kids
Oh, it's perfect.
and.
Use like a little plastic, like
Yeah.
blue one, yeah. Yeah, that.
All right, thank you, Josh. Monday morning, right? Mary and I. Oh, so the universal window is up on that. We'll be here. So this class, it's live streamed through Zoom, but I'm the only one that anyone can see. So
Gotcha.
don't think that you're being
Oh, yeah, no.
highlighted. So we'll start right at 10. Good morning, how are you? Good. So help yourself to any of the props over here and please grab a seat. Okay. Good morning, how are you? Good, how are you? I'm well, thanks. So there's straps in this little basket over there, so grab one for this morning, as well as anything else, blocks. You know, it's not, it doesn't look like I'm never very into that. Well, good morning. So welcome to all of you here that are with me in the studio, and welcome to you who are online with me this morning. My name is Pennee, and I'm your guide this morning as we go through your flow. And as always, just remember that I am your guide, and as we go through, if there are things that aren't feeling maybe really good for you this morning, please listen to your own inner guide, your own inner teacher, your own inner wisdom. And if pose isn't feeling quite right, certainly you can come out of it, or we can have more props, or something's feeling super good and you want to stay in it for a while. That's okay too. It's your practice this morning. I just want to, just say to everyone that Yoga Farm Ithaca is a nonprofit yoga studio, and part of our mission is to have yoga open and accessible to everyone and to everybody. So let people know that we really work to make sure that everyone can experience yoga if they so choose. I think there is an open yoga session on Tuesday nights at the community gardens. I think that's at 5 with Heather, and that's certainly open to everyone. So you can always check that out. All right, so this morning, as I was looking through what July 8th is, it was really interesting. I found out that today is National Freezer Pop Day, which might be good for this nice hot day. It's also National Ice Cream Sundae Day. And it's also National Milk Chocolate with Almond Day. So if anybody wants to celebrate those, just so you know, that's what it is. It's also, though, I found out that it's also Scud Day, which is savor the comic, unplug the drama. So savor the comic, unplug the drama. And I thought, well, let's go with that for today for our yoga flow. So we'll look into just having some fun, some upbeat, lightheartedness as we move into the flow and into the practice this morning. So as we move through this, I would invite you to just let whatever starts to come up, let it flow through, release whatever needs to be released and let it go. And as maybe sometimes, I know for me, sometimes in yoga classes, I start to hear like judgments or stories about how I should look or what I should be doing. And if that comes up, I would say, let's see where we can find the comic and unplug any of the drama that goes with that. And just release all that for ourselves this morning and just be present to what is. So with that said, let's find a really comfortable seated position. So for me, that's up on something. I like to be up. My hips are tight, and so they like it when I'm up on something. You can be on your knees if you'd like. That is certainly an option. Excuse me. You can also put blocks underneath your legs. Oh, the one thing I didn't mention that I need to mention before we get started is we'll need a strap today. So if you have a strap, grab a strap. And if you don't have a strap, you can certainly use a belt. You can use a scarf. You can use a dog leash. There's lots of things that you can use for a strap. And if you don't have any of those things, we can figure out. We can still work with what we have. All right, so once you've found a comfortable position, just start to notice how you showed up this morning. What's going on in your body? What is going on in your head? Notice your posture this morning. Noticing the breath as it moves in and it moves out. Now, as we move through this, eyes can be open, eyes can be closed, eyes can be downward gazing. What's comfortable for you? So let's take an inhale here, and as you inhale, let the shoulders lift towards the ears. And on the exhale, let them roll down the back. Just move with your breath here a couple of times, letting the inhale lift the shoulders, and the exhale release, letting the shoulder blades glide down the back. And let the shoulders rest, let them relax, let the breath return to just a normal rhythm. Once again, checking in with the head, checking in with the heart, checking in with the breath, the body. And we'll move into a little bit of breath work here this morning. And for the breath work this morning, I want to bring some awareness into that three-dimensional parts of our lungs. When we think of our breath, we think of the lungs in the front, but 60% of our lungs are in the back. So today, let's get in touch with the lungs as they expand in the back. So take that inhale again, just let the inhale be natural, the exhale be normal. And this time, as you inhale, visualize that air expanding horizontally across the upper part of the back. And the exhale, empty the breath completely, letting the back relax. Let's do that again. So we'll inhale, visualizing the air expanding across the upper back. Shoulder blades might raise gently. And the exhale releases the back. And one more time, inhale, opening that upper back. And exhale to release. Your next inhale, visualize air expanding horizontally across the middle of the back. The exhale releases the breath, relaxing the rib cage. The inhale takes the air across the middle part of the back, beneath the shoulder blades, above the waist. And the exhale relaxes. One more time, we'll do that middle back. And releasing with the exhale. The next inhale, visualize that air expanding horizontally across the lower back, down into the hips. And the exhale relaxes all effort of the breath. So take two more inhales and exhales, that lower back expanding and relaxing of the breath. And now take that nice inhale, feeling the breath in the upper, the middle, the lower back. And on the exhale, release the back, the abdomen, and the hips completely. Move through this a couple more times with your breath and your rhythm. And on this last exhale, observe the spine maybe feeling longer from neck to seat and from seat to neck. And Miriam, you grab a strap too. They're in that basket. Thank you. Now let the breath return to its own natural rhythm. Once again, checking in with the mind, the body. Arriving here at your practice, being present. Now with your next inhale, let that torso start to move forward. And on the exhale, let the torso move to the side, to the back. The inhale brings it around to the front again. Letting your awareness continue to not only notice the breath as it moves in and fills the front of the torso, but also see if you can still stay connected to the breath as it expands the back. Changing your position at any time, the legs can be extended forward. Sometimes cross-legged position isn't comfortable for everyone or for any length of time. Now, these circles can be as large or as small. This feels comfortable this morning. And the next inhale reverses those circles, letting the body rotate in the opposite direction. And the hips warm up, the back. Feeling yourself connected to your mat, to your practice. Circles now get smaller and smaller. Come back to that center position. Once you're back to center, take a nice inhale, let the hands lift. And on the exhale, that right arm comes down to connect with the mat. Little stretch. Inhale, hands back overhead. Exhale, that left arm comes down, little side stretch. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Exhale, that right hand comes around behind into a nice little twist. Inhale, hands come back. Exhale to the other side in that nice little twist. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, now the arms come around back. If fingers can interlace, let them interlace. Let's take a nice inhale here, opening the chest, those knuckles reach towards the floor. And then the exhale, hands come forward, interlace the fingers, press them forward, shoulders round. Now we'll inhale and go through that sequence again and move through this at your own speed, at your breath. If you want to stay in a position for a couple of breaths, please follow that guidance from your body. Let the practice be yours this morning. Let the breath guide you. We're not going past any edges here. We're just warming up, saying good morning to the body, as well as to your practice. And the exhale, bring those hands forward, fingers interlace, pressing those palms forward. And let's move through that one more time. Inhale, up. Exhale, right arm down. Inhale, up. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale comes up. Exhale into that gentle twist. Inhale up. And exhale to the other side, twist. Inhale up. Exhale to that back, clasping of the hands. The inhale, open the chest. And the exhale brings the hands around front. Nice little rounded back. And the exhale will release. I'll just take a moment here, let the shoulders once again lift and lower. And just give them a little shake out. Now we'll grab your strap. And once you've grabbed your strap, you come down all the way to the back. We'll come down into the back. Knees are bent. Feet are flat on the mat. And let's just do a little windshield wiper here. So let the legs move back and forth. Releasing. Knees come back to center. Now we'll take that strap and we'll pull in that right knee. We'll loop the strap around that right foot, right below the ball of the foot. And then let the hands glide down the strap until the elbows can rest on the mat. So you can loop the hands around the strap if you'd like. Now, the knee may be bent here. The knee may be at right angle. That leg may be straight and perpendicular. Just what's in your practice this morning. We'll take a couple of breaths into wherever you're feeling this. Now that left leg, that knee can stay bent with the foot on the floor, or maybe it wants to extend along in the mat. So just connect with what is feeling easeful in your body this morning. Now bring the strap over into the right hand and let that right leg move out to the right. Supporting it at all times, keeping both your hips nicely connected to the mat. Just feel a gentle stretch here. We're not trying to go past any comfort levels here. Now we'll bring that leg back into center, switch the strap to the left leg or left hand, and let that right leg come over to the left. Keeping the breath, letting the breath breathe into the sensation and let the breath release from the sensation. Back to center you come. Bend that knee, release the strap, bring that right foot back to the mat. And again, let the knees move from side to side. Knees back to center, bring that left knee in. We'll wrap the strap around that left foot. And that left leg now can straighten as much as it would like to. Right knee can stay bent, or maybe that right leg's long in the mat. Feeling a nice little stretch, wherever that is for you this morning. Then we'll bring the strap into the left hand and let that leg move over to the left, to the outside. Always supporting. Inhale back to center. Switch the strap to the right hand and let that foot come over towards the right. Letting the hips stay nicely connected to your mat. Back to center. Let's take another nice little breath here. And on the exhale, bend that knee, release the strap. Both feet are on the mat. Knees rocking from side to side. All right, let the knees come back to center. We'll roll over onto one side. And using the hands, press yourself up to seated and into a tabletop position. So we're done with the strap. You can set that aside. And we'll bring our hands to the mat, right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. Take a moment here to really connect with the palms of the hands, the knees, maybe even the tops of the feet. And as you inhale, let the belly button reach towards the floor as you open your heart space. And on the exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine, head, chin to chest as you come into that cow position. So we'll inhale, we'll move through this cat-cow with your breath this morning. As you exhale, belly button pulls in, maybe even push up gently through the palms of the hands. Letting the spine move in one direction and then the other. Now the choice here is to continue with your cat-cow, or let your hips start to move from side to side. Look over the left shoulder towards the left hip and the right shoulder towards the right hip. Let those hips just move. Maybe they start to circle on the knees in one direction and then the other. Just getting in touch with what feels, what your body right now feels it would like to experience. Now, let's bring that right foot back. Right foot is back, those toes are tucked. And you can leave that right foot right on the mat here or lift that right foot up. So the toes are still pointing down towards the mat. Hips are parallel with the mat. And we can lower that and lift it. And if you'd like, you can lift that back foot, that right foot, and lift the left hand. So let that left hand reach forward as the right foot reaches back. Eyes are on the mat. You can take a few breaths here. You can also take an inhale here. Bring that knee in and the elbow in. And then on the exhale, the leg reaches long as the hand reaches. So there's a couple of options here. Find your option for this morning. And just move through whatever that is. Then we'll bring that palm down, the knee down, coming back into tabletop. When you are ready to do that, do a couple more rounds of cat-cow. Letting the breath guide your movements here. Then we'll bring that left foot back. We'll tuck that toe. And again, we'll find whichever posture works for you this morning. So that toe stays on the mat or it lifts and lowers. Or that back foot lifts, that right arm, that opposite arm extends forward. Or you can start that movement where the elbow and knee come in to meet and then extend long. Then the palm and the knee both release back to the mat. Those knees become wide on the mat, those big toes together, and on the exhale, the hips release right down towards the heels as you find your child's pose this morning. Now in child's pose, let your head, the forehead rest on the mat, on your hands, on a block. Just let yourself surrender into the earth this morning, into your practice. Releasing whatever you'd like to let go of this morning. The inhale brings you back into tabletop. Now bring those hands a little bit forward on your mat. The fingers are wide. Let those knuckles really connect with the mat. We'll tuck those toes again. And on the inhale, lift those sits bones right up towards the sky into this downward facing dog. Pedaling your feet. Letting the hips, the sits bones lift high. Head and neck are relaxed. Belly button to spine. Now, yogi's choice here, you can bring the knees back to the mat or you can come into a plank position. So in plank position, neck, spine, and hips are in line, or come down onto the knees. We'll take a nice inhale here. And on the exhale, knees, chest, and chin come down to the mat. Now you can have chin, cheek, or forehead here. And take a nice breath. Inhale and exhale. Then we'll bring the palms to the mat, elbows come under the shoulders, finding your way into your back bend this morning. So whatever your favorite back bend is, let yourself experience that. And on the exhale, release back down to the mat. Chin, cheek, or forehead once more. We'll bring those hands back to the shoulders, finding your way back into either tabletop, or we'll come back into that downward facing dog, letting the feet pedal one and then the other as the heels energetically reach towards the mat. And on the exhale, knees come down to the mat. Once again, knees are wide, big toes together as you release into child's pose. Take an inhale here and a full exhale, maybe even with a sigh as you release it out. Letting it all go. Inhaling, coming back into tabletop. Once again, hands a little bit forward on the mat. Big toes are tucked as you inhale, sits bones to the sky, coming back into downward facing dog. Walking those feet out, connecting with the palms, really lifting the sits bones high here as you're in that upside down V position. Now looking up towards your thumbs, start to walk the feet towards the thumbs towards the feet as you come into this forward fold position. Now letting the knees bend here. Hands can be on the mat, hands can be on ankles, hands can be on opposite elbows. Letting the head and neck really release here, letting it go. Now on the next inhale, bend the knees, engage those core muscles as you start to slowly rise to standing. Hands can walk up the legs, letting that head be the last to come up. As the hands lift overhead, palms meet, and on the exhale, palms come in front of the heart space. As we take a moment here, noticing where again the head is, where the heart is. Feeling yourself now connected to your practice through the soles of your feet. Let those feet be right underneath the hips. Feel yourself grounding through your soles of the feet, up through the legs, extending up through the spine, up to the top of the head, expanding right up towards the heavens. Feeling yourself connected above and below. Now we'll take a nice inhale, let the hands lift. And then the exhale, sweep them along that arc line. And let the shoulders lift and release. And let's let those shoulders lift and release a couple of times here. Letting them go. And the shoulders release down, and we'll take a nice inhale. And on the exhale, let the chin come to the chest. This time, the inhale brings that right ear to the right shoulder. The exhale brings the chin back to the chest. Inhale, the left ear to the left shoulder. Letting your breath just guide you through a few of these. I don't know about you, but my neck is really enjoying this morning. Feels kind of tight. I'll bring the head back to center. And this time, let the head just move from side to side. Maybe the eyes follow the movement and look over the shoulder. And the eyes have a little bit of a stretch this morning as well. Coming back to center. I'll just notice if there's any other movement of the shoulders, the head, the neck that would feel good to you this morning. Now, moving to a sun salutation this morning, and I want to give you two options for your sun salutation, and the third option actually will be whatever you want to do. So the first option is a standing sun salutation, which will inhale the hands up. We'll exhale the hands forward with fingers interlaced, palms out. The inhale takes the palms up. The exhale bends the knees as we come into that halfway position. Knees or hands are on the shins. The inhale brings that body to a right angle position. The exhale brings you into a forward fold. Inhale lifts the body up, hands come overhead, and the exhale brings the hands forward. So that is a standing sun salutation that you may opt to do. The second one is a sun salutation, which we will bring the hands up. We'll exhale forward, coming into a forward fold. We'll plant the hands on the earth as we step back into a plank position. The exhale will bring the knees, the chest down to lay down. Inhale will bring you up into a back bend. The exhale will let you reset your spine as your hands connect with the mat, toes tuck. Inhale into that downward facing dog. And we'll look at the thumbs. We'll walk those feet forward into forward fold. Inhale, brings us back to standing. Hands come overhead, palms together to heart space. So we have a standing sun salutation. We have the second version of a sun salutation. And your third option is to do whatever you want to do, whatever sun salutation you want to do. So we'll do a couple of these. So inhale up. And exhale down, planting the hands on the earth, stepping the toes back into plank. Exhaling, knees, chest down, lie down. Inhale, back bend. Resetting the spine, tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Walking the thumbs, walking to the thumbs, forward fold. Inhale, coming to standing, hands overhead. Exhale, inhale, exhale to forward fold. Plant the hands, step back into plank. Knees, chest to earth. Come up into that back bend. Exhale, reset the spine. Inhale to downward facing dog. Looking at the thumbs, walking the feet towards them. Forward fold. Inhale. Hands overhead. So moving through this just 2 more times with your own breath, your own rhythm, your own choice. Which sun salutation you choose, letting this practice truly be yours. Let this be a rhythm of your own, finding yourself connected to your mat, to your practice. Letting yourself flow. Whenever you have completed your last round, we'll all meet standing with hands in front of heart space if that's comfortable. Hands can always be relaxed by the hips. I just take a moment here to breathe. Bringing yourself back to your practice, back to your mat. We'll inhale again, bringing the hands overhead. The exhale once again into that forward fold, bringing the hands to the mat to blocks. Hands can be on opposite elbows here. Letting the head and neck be fully relaxed. Knees here are bent, knees can be straight. Maybe let the hips gently move from side to side. With the hands now coming down to the mat, let yourself bring one knee down and then the other as you come back into tabletop. Now in tabletop position, let's find that cat-cow again. So we'll inhale to open the chest, belly button towards the mat. And the exhale pulls the belly button towards the spine, chin to chest. Feel all the places that the mat is connecting with you. Your palms, your knees, your feet. Let yourself be fully present here on your mat. Let the knees be wide now, big toes together, and release the hips towards the heels into child's pose. And always know that a child's pose is not a relaxing, restful pose for you. Always come onto the back and pull the knees into the chest. Make your practice yours. Coming back into all fours. Come into that side saddle as we come into a seated posture. Now, as we come into this seated posture, you'll notice that if I'm sitting with my legs crossed and nothing under my hips, there's a little rounding in my back. But if I take a blanket and just sit on the edge of it, it allows my hips to come forward and I can keep a better posture in my back. So just notice what works for you this morning and play around with that for yourself. Now we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees do a little flutter here, getting into the hips. And let those knees become still. Take that inhale, let the inhale come right up through the sits bones, right up through the spine, the top of the head. And on the exhale, let that heart space lead you forward as you come to wherever that edge is for you this morning. So we're not pulling with our hands here, we're just letting gravity bring us forward. Breathing here. Letting whatever wants to release, release. Letting the breath move in and move out. Now the inhale brings the hands up to the knees, bringing the knees together. And we'll let those legs extend long. And then we'll bring them out into a nice V position. So again, letting our spines lift right up out of our hips, right up through the top of our heads. Take that nice inhale to lift things, and on the exhale, walk those fingers forward. Now, if legs are really tight here, knees can stay bent, feet can be on the floor, you can bring a block underneath those legs. And just let gravity be your friend here. Notice where the sensations are. I've got a lot going on here this morning. And just let the breath breathe into wherever you're feeling that. And let the breath release from there as well. The next inhale walks those hands back to upright. And let's bring the feet in. So they're forward here. And again, Hamstrings are tight, knees can be bent here with the soles of the feet on the floor. You can also have a block underneath the top of the legs. So we'll take that inhale again, right up through the torso. And on the exhale, once again, finding that forward fold, letting the hands rest wherever they're called this morning. If the forward fold is especially challenging this morning, you can use that strap around the feet and just let the strap be your hands this morning. So there's lots of things that you can do with props. And as always, I'm a big proponent of props. So I always use them if that allows you better access to whatever asana we're doing. Now the inhale again walks those hands up as we come up to upright position. And from here, we'll swing around to the side so that we're on our side. Now on your side here, the legs are stacked. You can be up on the elbow if you'd like, or if it's more comfortable, you can go down on, let your head be resting on your elbow. So there are two different positions here. And we're going to take that top leg and we're just going to lift it and release it. So just let that leg lift and release. So we'll just do that a couple of times. Now the other option is to lift both legs and release. Lift both legs together and release. So choose which one is your pose this morning. Or come in and out and try a couple and then go back to the other. And we'll bring that down and we'll roll to the other side and give the other side a little bit of exposure to that. So remember, you can be up on the elbow or the head can be down on the mat. And we'll lift and lower that top leg. Now, if you need a little blanket underneath that hip for some cushioning, that's always an option. And remember, lift both legs here. Just one. And then we'll release that down and we'll roll all the way over onto the back. And we'll take a nice little journey down. So really engage those core muscles and roll down to the mat. Take your time. Feeling the spine meet one vertebra at a time. So the shoulders and the head are released. Bringing the knees into the chest and just giving them a nice little tuck here. We'll roll from side to side. Always feels so good on the lower back. Coming back to center here, bring the feet back to the mat, knees stay bent, and we'll walk those heels back toward the hips. Palms are on your mat next to your hips. And as you inhale, lift the hips, pushing up through the soles of the feet, and you'll just come to rest on the shoulders. So there shouldn't be a lot of pressure on the head here. Knees are parallel and pointed towards the ceiling. Now take a couple of breaths here. You can interlace the fingers underneath the hips if you'd like. Or the other option is as you inhale, you can lift, and as you exhale, you can roll back down to the mat. So take a couple of breaths here, finding your pose this morning. And And the next exhale, let's roll, all of us roll down to the mat. Bringing the hips all the way down, release the shoulders. And let the knees move from side to side. All right, we'll bring those knees back into the chest, give them a nice hug. Bring that left foot down, keeping the left knee bent, and we'll bring the right ankle up over that left leg. So that right foot is flexed. And stay right here in the pose. The second option is to lift that left leg, getting the hands behind the knee or in front of the knee. Letting the head and neck rest on the mat. And breathing here, keeping the breath in and out. If that left foot has been lifted, bring that left foot back to the mat. Right knee or right ankle stays right where it is, and just let the body rock here from side to side. This can be a nice little rock. It can be large, it can be small. Coming back to center, we'll release that right foot down and bring that left ankle up. And so again, finding your pose on this side. That right foot stays on the mat or that right foot lifts. But again, head and neck, stay relaxed on the mat. Bringing that right foot to meet the mat. And again, we'll do that little side to side motion. Bringing both feet to the mat. Let the soles of the feet find each other again as the knees open to the outside of the mat. Now you can have blocks underneath the legs here. This can be an intense pose for some. You can also let your hands be fists and just meet where, or just rest where the hips and the legs meet. Just breathing here for a couple of breaths. All right, the next inhale brings the knees back together. Pull the knees again into the chest. And with the palms resting on top of the knees, let the knees start to make some circles. Letting the knees make circles in one direction and then the other direction. Now the knees can be moving together in sync, going in the same direction, or maybe they want to go in opposite directions. So again, yogi's choice here. Bring those knees back into the chest. And with a nice inhale, start to roll over into that left hip with the exhale, letting the knees come over to the left. That right shoulder releases back to the mat. And the gaze can be over that right shoulder. It can be towards the ceiling. Or if it's in the direction of the knees, it's a little bit more of a restorative pose. Now you can support those knees with your blocks, with your hands. And just breathe into this. The inhale brings those knees back to center. We'll readjust, realign the spine. Take another inhale. And on the exhale, the knees now move over to the right as you roll into the right hip. As that left shoulder releases back. Again. Supporting the knees. Finding your gaze. Connecting with your breath. Can you feel the breath as it moves in to the front of the body? And can you feel the breath as it expands the back body? Inhaling, rolling back to center. And bring those knees in again. And let the body move side to side. Now we'll bring the feet back to the mat. And we'll extend one leg long and then the other. We'll take a nice inhale, we'll bring the hands overhead, have a nice full body stretch. And on the exhale, let the hands release back to the mat. Now, before we get ready to move into our rest pose for today, we'll move into what's called stretch pose. So for stretch pose, we'll be on the mat. And our breath in stretch pose is going to come from this lower belly. So as you inhale, the belly will expand, and on the exhale, it's a push out with that belly. So it's a kind of breath. The body in stretch pose, the hands, we're going to bring the hands underneath the hips to support that lower back, keeping the lower back rounded into the mat. Legs are long, and as we go into the pose, the feet will lift a couple inches off the mat, and the head will lift a couple inches off the mat as well, gazing at the feet. All right, so we'll put everything back down on the mat. Props can be used underneath the ankles if you'd like, and then also you can bring a block underneath the ankle or the heels or underneath the head. So we'll hold this for 30 seconds as we lift the feet and the head and breathe, and then we'll come out. All right, so we'll inhale, we'll lift the feet, lift the head, and start the breath with that 30 seconds. Now you can come in and out of this pose as you please. If you come out of the pose, let the breath continue. You're doing great. Almost there. 5 more seconds. Take a nice full inhale, hold. And on the exhale, release and let it all down. Nicely done, good job. Just take a moment here and notice. And notice if you want to use any props here. And we're going to do this again for another 20 or 30 seconds, and you can opt out if you choose. Keep those hands under the hips, lower back to the mat. Inhale, lift the feet, lift the head, and here we go. Keep that breath going. Come in, come out of the pose, use your props. Feel how strong you are. Almost there. You're doing great. 5 more seconds. Inhale, hold, 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 and exhale. Release, and just let that all go. Feel what's going on in your body. What's going on in your mind. Maybe what messages you're sending to me. That's me. End with that pose. Just let yourself be present. And then notice if there's any other movement, any other twist, any other stretch that you would like to experience before preparing for your rest pose this morning. And as you prepare for your rest pose, what would make you able to relax even more? Would you like a blanket? Would you like a bolster under your knees? Pillow under your head? Thank you. And whatever that is, just take a moment to retrieve that. Perfect. Yeah. Anybody else would like any props? And once you have yourself in your relaxation pose, just notice if there's any other little adjustment that would allow you to relax even deeper. And take a nice full inhale here. Let the breath expand through the entire body. And on the exhale, allow yourself to release even more. Feel your mat, feel the floor, feel the earth fully supporting you. Allowing yourself these few minutes to reap the benefit of your practice this morning. Allow yourself to just be, letting your whole body be soft and heavy, letting your breath be a natural rhythm, and allow the mind to either connect with the breath or maybe let the mind take a journey to some place where it loves to be. Breathing in the next inhale. And releasing the exhale. Let the inhale breathe in awareness into the feet and into the hands. Letting the feet, the toes find some movement. Letting the hands and the fingers find some movement. Maybe the feet, the ankles want to rotate. Maybe the hands and wrists want to rotate. The head may want to move side to side. Finding that instinctual movement that the body is asking for. Maybe that's a nice long full body stretch. Maybe the knees bend, coming in toward the chest. Or maybe the knees bend with the feet on the floor, knees moving side to side. Being in touch with your body. And when you're ready, finding your way onto one side, letting the head be cradled, your arm, your hand, a blanket, a pillow. Pausing here, pausing as you make that transition from your practice of yoga on the mat to your practice of yoga off the mat. Remembering that yoga is like life. It's a balance of holding on and letting go. And when you're ready, finding your way back to an upright, seated position. The love, the light, the radiance that lives in me recognizes, honors, and is so grateful for the love, the light, the radiance that shines from you. Thank you for your gift of presence this morning. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
And remember, today is National Freezer Pop Day, National Ice Cream Sundae Day.
Oh, excellent.
National Milk Chocolate with Almonds Day, and National Savor the Comic, Unplug the Drama Day.
No, no.
So,
I didn't know what the comic was.
so Freezer Pop might sound good today. So that's a new one. Have a good one today, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi, my friends on the line. Have a great one.